In fact, the movie will not even be submitted for a rating. Tom Savini's makeup shop is like a nightmare waiting to come to life. This is where Debbie Gordon is transformed from a beautiful actress and model into a decaying zombie. Debbie is playing the lead female zombie in the movie. Her makeup must be precise and detailed for the camera close-ups. It's a long and complicated process which actually started a month ago. A life-size mold is made of Debbie's face. Then foam latex is poured into the mold, and out pops a rubber mask. One piece will fit around Debbie's eyes and the other under her lower lip.
When she moves her face, it'll move with her. It's like the outside of her face is brand new. The inside of her face controls it.
After the masks are glued down, layers of grease paint and powder are applied. Her arms get a makeup job, too. Liquid latex is painted on. When it dries, her skin takes on a wrinkled look. The rubbery layer is scraped away to make it look like she has open wounds. And if that's not enough, the makeup crew isn't finished yet. Next comes the blood.
It's a special type of blood that we use. It's called gel blood. It kind of coagulates like real blood and forms more of a thick, kind of a crusty blood.
It's made of Caro syrup and red food coloring. Barbecue sauce is used for scenes that call for the blood to be eaten. And other food is also used for Debbie's zombie makeover. A mixture of oatmeal, charcoal powder, and hair gel are rubbed into her hair. The finishing touch, false teeth. And after 2 hours in the makeup chair, this is the final result. It's a face only another zombie could love. And of course, being a lead zombie, Debbie has important lines.
One of them goes like this. What kind of...
unusual person, and we never know what her next move's going to be.
It was interesting. Yeah, it's an experience.
Full of skilled artists and craftsmen who turn out monsters for the movies.
What we have here is nothing more or less than a monster factory. People come here to work in the morning at this industrial plant in North Hollywood. And what do they do all day? They make monsters. The chief monster maker here is a young man by the name of Rick Baker. Rick, where do all these creatures come from? At least your nightmares come to life?
Not really. I don't really have nightmares. It's just my imagination, you know, a lot of daydreaming. And a lot of the stuff is based on real life people or animals or whatever, combinations of both.
But can you explain what some of the folks are doing here?
Yeah, they're doing a little bit of everything. You know, it's, to make a monster, you really have to be an inventor, and scientist, and dentist, everything. You know, we make eyes, teeth, skin, bones. It takes a lot, you know, and all these guys are all good at all that work, you know. We've got, like Doug over here, who's our main machinist. He's making some mechanical hands, actually for this character now that I was sculpting. And we're making a skeleton, basically, but it's out of metal, and we have tendons that we can manipulate and move the fingers just the way human anatomy works, only in this case we're using aluminum because of the weight, you know. Bill here is making some mechanism to make the eyes blink on a mask, so it's, you know, we're not utilizing actors' eyes, we're utilizing artificial eyes, so to get that expression and life to it, he's making mechanical eyelids. We've got Tom over here modeling some feet for this same character I'm working on his face here. So Tom's an excellent sculptor. Whipped out these feet in just the time that I've been working on this face here talking to you. And Sean's making some ugly monster over here of his own design, a little demonic character. Again, this is where the real art comes into the work.
You really do have to be sculptors.
Oh, excellent sculptors, because we have to pass this stuff off as being real. You know, I mean, we're not, if it were an art piece, we could leave it at a rough stage, but we really can't do that when we get down to putting all the pores in and all the different textures and everything like that. Very time-consuming, you know. Besides the actual sculpture in clay, sometimes we fabricate things directly out of polyurethane foam sheets and stuff like that, as Kevin's doing over here, fabricating a little test body for this character we're working on. You know, that eliminates the mold-making process and all. It's a lot faster, only a little more crude. Steve is making some teeth, some dentures for his two-face character that he designed here, a pretty hideous mask. But, in this case, he has to make 2 sets of teeth, you know. Then my wife Elaine is our foam rubber technician. She runs all the foam latex and mixes the chemicals up for that, you know. And we have to, like I said, do all kinds of crazy stuff. And I think I have a terrific crew. I think these are the best guys around, and I'm real proud of them.
Many of Rick Baker's creations were used in one of the most unforgettable scenes in motion pictures, the cantina sequence in Star Wars. Not only does Rick Baker make monster costumes and masks, sometimes he is the monster, too. In the new version of King Kong, inside his own gorilla suit, was Baker himself. Baker's most recent film was An American Werewolf in London, where he again showed there can be art behind ugliness.
Rick, does it make any difference to you whether the head that you're making is for an actor to put on or whether it will operate without a man inside?
Oh, it makes a lot of difference in the design and everything else, but the main advantage to having an actor is that he acts, and he gives a lot of life to the mask. I normally wouldn't just have a mask for an actor. I mean, it would be a makeup, but I mean, it's amazing here what eyes bring, what life an eye brings to a mask. You know, I mean, here you have a mask that looks like a mask, basically, and there's no life to it. But if you put it on, and have eyes in it, and it really brings a different thing to it, you know.
Is it the eye itself that's either grotesque or beautiful, or is it what surrounds it that gives the character to the eye?
It's not just the eye as much as the lids and the area around it. I mean, you could, you know, really open them up wide and put your head back, you get a whole different look than, you know, real squinty and stuff, you know,
So it's not just that we're seeing your eyes, but we're also seeing your lids, so that you can blink. And
whole area around the eyes.
All right.
The mask I just had on was a latex mask. There's no expression other than just the area around the eyes. When we want more facial movement, we go to a foam latex mask like this, which is glued to the actor's face with additional makeup applied. So when the actor moves his face, like so,
it moves with the face.
Exactly. But there's limitations to that in that you really can't, say, bare your teeth, for example. So in a case like that, we go to a mask with a mechanism in it, like this gorilla head over here. Now this head works while the actor's face, from the actor's movements, but it works a mechanism that actually makes it snarl, see? Let me see if I can put this on quickly here.
You do that with your mouth?
With my jaw movements, actually. So that's a whole different type of thing. The material is the same, only now we have an understructure that's basically a skull that has teeth and you know. There's also a brow movement on this mask. Sometimes we'll have a mask that isn't a self-contained mechanism that's worked by someone off-camera, remote controlled, that does a lot more expressions than we can fit in a mask like this.
What is the fun of it? Is it the idea of ultimately scaring somebody?
I'm fascinated by makeup and by this stuff because it's really like creating a life. You know, it's in a way it's like being a god, in that you're taking you know, a piece of clay and you're making a face out of it, and then you're making that face move and be alive, and that's what really fascinates me. I don't know what everybody else's fascination with monsters are, but I think most people have even sort of a morbid curiosity about these things, you know. Monster movies, you can safely experience terror, you know, and know that you're not really going to get hurt by it.
Rick Baker, another master monster maker.
Because Mrs. H.E. Bergen of Canton, Ohio, wanted to know how these monsters were created, our show visited Hollywood's #1 monster maker. He's the artist who made the werewolf for the movie An American Werewolf in London. and many of the monsters in the famous barroom sequence of Star Wars. I mean, who can forget that? His name is Rick Baker. Our reporter eyewitnessed his creations close up because you asked for it.
These are the men you love to hate. Box office stars who won't be seen with the beautiful people. They are the movie monsters. And the man responsible for giving you these nightmares is Rick Baker, one of Hollywood's premier makeup artists. He has created wonderful horror effects for movies like Star Wars, The Fury, and American Werewolf in London. And Rick not only made this King Kong costume, he was King Kong in every scene of the movie, except for the two in which the mechanical one was used, right? Tell me, Rick, what was it like to be King Kong?
It was hot. This suit weighs 50 pounds. I'd lose 5 pounds a day. It's like a sauna.
Gorillas have longer arms than people do, so the arms in a gorilla costume are extended. When the actor wearing the costume moves a finger, the gorilla's finger moves the same way, mechanically. All of his characters are designed with one thing in mind, to scare the pants off you. And we're here to see how he does it. This pressure syringe is used to allow fake blood to ooze through the cuticles of these Baker-made fingers. This trick takes 3 skilled operators, all working together to run long wire controls just to make a decaying old skeleton wink and smile at you. Materials most often used are fiberglass, polyurethane foam, or foam latex. Combine those elements with Rick's imagination, his talent as a painter, a sculptor, and a mechanic, and you've got a fully animated creation. For us to better understand the technique, he thought it would be best to see it from start to finish. The whole process takes about 3 hours, and is a lot more work than I thought. Rick is about to make me into a monster. But before he begins my transformation, let's go back a few steps. To create my new image, Rick started with a drawing of his ideas and a basic design. Then a life cast was taken of my face using alginate, a dental material. On this cast, he molded a clay mask and added the new horror features to duplicate his drawing. This mold is then cast in foam latex, which makes the mask that he's about to apply on my face. Using theatrical adhesive, he carefully glues all the edges of the mask to blend perfectly onto the face. The next step is applying a base makeup color. In the eye area, Rick carefully blends the base coat to look completely natural. He then paints highlights and shadows by using many color variations to create a lifelike impression.
Let me see, open your eyes again. Kind of smile, square smile.
And like all good makeup sessions, it ends with a little powder and a little shine, and here's the new me. That's not too bad. Maybe I'll start my own cosmetic line. What do you say?
Special makeup designer Ken Chase and makeup artist Steve Laporte created facial prosthetics for actors Randall Tex Cobb, Tao Logo, and Pons Mar. These special